Hi, I'm Jonathan Wood with PLS DC Center, and today I'm joined with the DC Center's Executive Director, Todd Gaziano, to discuss a recent Wall Street Journal op-ed that describes one of Todd's ideas as a regulatory game changer. So, Todd, the column is focused on the Congressional Review Act. What is the Congressional Review Act?
Well, the Congressional Review Act was passed almost 20 years ago, and it provides expedited procedures for Congress without a filibuster to reject and overturn any regulation that's reported to Congress. But before any regulation can go into effect, it has to be submitted to Congress for their review under these procedures.
And as I understand, Congress is already looking at some of the late adopted regulations from the Obama administration to void with this procedure.
That's right. Under the Congressional Review Act, there's a certain period of time where the new Congress can recapture regulations that were issued, midnight regulations, in the last 60 days, even if they were submitted to Congress. And the new Congress has 60 session days or 60 legislative days after their 15th day in which to use the expedited procedures to overturn those regulations.
Mm-hmm. And so that usually works out to about 6 months. I'm trying to do the math in my head, but it's usually the last 6 months?
It depends on how many times each house is in. During an election year, it'll reach back many more months than it will going forward.
Okay, well, let's talk about the regulatory game changer. What's your idea for how we can go even further back than that?
Well, the law requires the agencies to submit every, not only rule, but every guidance document that's used against the general public in the enforcement of regulations. And many of those guidance documents were never submitted to Congress. And so I'm just simply pointing out how the law works. If the Trump administration in the next 4 or 5 months submits those guidance documents that the Obama administration has been using to Congress as the law requires, then Congress has the next 60 legislative days or session days to overturn them with those expedited procedures.
Well, I mean, that's huge. That means you could go all the way back to the early days of the Obama administration. You
can go back halfway through the Clinton administration. Mm-hmm. You can go back 20 years and look at any guidance document that was never submitted to Congress and use those expedited procedures to return it. But as Kimberly Strassel, the Wall Street Journal, pointed out, there's even more. Any regulation that is overturned by Congress under that act can never again be reissued in that form or substantially the same form without express congressional authorization.
Wow, that's definitely a big impact. It'll be something to watch as the new Congress begins its work.
Absolutely.